Blessings, blessings, blessings. Yeah, 2022. The year in the West, is upon us in earnest. Many people are making their plans for a year that is productive and wholesome amidst unsure corporate, economic, and political policies across the earth plane. Many people are uncertain. Their faith in themselves did not prepare them for such experiences fully. Their faith in their Creator didn't seem to have prepared them either. So essentially, many are battling the forces with anxiety and uncontrollable fits of depressive moods and behaviors. Now we're going to see a lot of decrepit, unnatural behaviors become more prevalent as people lose the rooting and grounding to the moral and ethical practices and behaviors they have maintained for thousands of years. Whenever you have a rise in the darkness upon the earth plane, the human loses its environmental grasp on the vibration of goodness, because the vibrational fields in the environment is saturated with negative energy frequency, because the do as thou wilt has led to complete debauchery, abuse of human lives towards genocide, absolute over expropriation of the environment, the physical environment, toxifying the air, the water, and the land, destroying our habitation, our habitat. It takes enlightened, conscious states of mind, focused, educated in the legalisms of this age and previous age, to understand sociopolitically and economically where you will stand and have your autonomy and your sovereignty recognized, respected, and acted upon. With every right is a responsibility. If we are going to speak of our rights, we must be responsible to act in manner that do not coalesce and acquiesce our thoughts, activity, and our life force to the experience of the design system. It is one thing to say I'm not a part of this world, but then you participate in the activities of the world as it is according to their dictates. You are following the templates designed, laid out, and constructed by others. You have negated the natural, harmonious law of God. So within the theoretics of the legalistic practices, you forget the lawful practices, which is morality and ethics, which have long existed before all of our conscious human design systems and law. Yes, it's good to understand the law of the land, air, and the law of water, to understand the nature of our vessel being breached upon this landmass, and that your customs govern your experience. So anytime international law, which is law of the sea, is coming in to tell you how to operate within the law of the land, within your landmass, within your culture, your way of life, how you have subsisted for thousands of years. Anytime you coalesce to an external system, you break the bonds of your lawful experience and become legalistic and the straw man. You become applied to a constructed idea of what humanity is within these times down on paper. And so the paper trail now begins to represent you. If you are not conscious in the living person, you will lose your rights. So you cannot coalesce into a system that you know is against the lawful function of your being and expect legally it should address these issues. Lack of true education has caused a lot of folks to be unsure of the path ahead. Start the laws of nature. Do unto others as you'll have them do unto you. Do not construct belief systems which separates people based upon culture, class, and creed. All differentials and measures should be upon the moral and ethical law that is primal. You cannot do injustice to others in protection of a fear that you have and call it legal and think it is lawful, right? So we cannot codify our fears into legal arguments, then force people through the positivism law manual to be commanded by the state or by the monarch to use fear as a means to construct behavior. If you agree to that, then the natural law will not apply to you, because you will not have lived by natural law. you would have also judged others by the title, status, and labels designed under the strawman system. That is why a man of high stature does not have the cops running in through his door and doing as they please. And even when they do forward, they have to follow the legalistic functions designed within the state apparatus. When the living man and woman, the living person, is approached in this manner, you begin to recognize that there's a lot of quotations over your person and your movement and function of your person within time and space continuum that you do not understand, because it far belies anything that is humane, because the law isn't humane. The law is structured from the power dynamic, and so you got to understand when you are not a part of the power dynamic to understand and overstand the natural laws, to live in moral and spiritual, hallelujah, alignment with truth. That will be your protection. That will always be your protection. That will always guide and direct the state of being. You will act in a manner that is lawful and hence avoid legalistic traps. And whenever there is an increment of some offense, you would understand in the natural law how to argue your point of view without needing this legalistic representation that doesn't really represent you but represents a straw man. These things have to be understood as we move forward legally into the new age of information and experience. Many people think it's just about augmentation, thinking, oh, it's really just a new sense of, human quality coming out, that we have reached this point in development. No, we are at an augmented point in development, where anthropologically there's a lot of activities which are now being instituted in the human experience that we do not know its end result, because we have not done the research and the studies. We have not observed, experienced it long enough to make a module that is correct and responsible and responsive to the needs of others. So we have a one-brush-fits-all system. I believe it is called the New World Order, right? And there's many philosophical statements under that, and many religious statements, and you will approach it according to how you are aware. But if you are solely of the systematic viewpoint without true knowledge of what the system is, then you are most, hallelujah, at risk. And if you are aware of what the systematic experience is, then you know how truly important it is to share palatable quality information with the fellow humans who are seeking towards such understanding and state of experience to give them strength in moving forward. My faith in the true and living gives me the ability to pervade my experiences with the living spirit of the Logos. I am not going to be fractured into a consciousness that has been constructed by humans, that I could tell what point in so-called human history or prehistory that it started. Then it could not have been eternal and cannot govern the laws of my being, and it cannot be a representation of my living person. It is a connoted idea they've got, ideas that is premise, not actuality. So when ideas are denoted lawful, then one understands that you have a lawful right as a living man and woman, as a living person born upon the land in this time and space, in these so-called nation states that have cultures and traditions that long outlasted their modern progenitors. Our cultures are not representative of the modern nation states, countries, and governments. Our cultures started far in time immemorial, and as such is a legacy of the earth plane itself, and not a legacy of legalistic ideas constructed by the power brokers amongst us. So live by the laws of nature, live by the laws of God. Have your life and your responsibilities in thus. This will direct your movement through time and space, and you will understand the laws of the land, the laws of the air, and the laws of water. You will understand why it is that they deal with us legalistically and not lawfully. Because lawfully they have no right over a sovereign being, hallelujah, over a sovereign logos. And in the augmentation age that's coming, the humans who are augmented are products and services, just like chattel in the previous age. These things must be understood. The earth isn't going to stop because these things are happening. It's life everlasting. So because it's life everlasting, You got to get that in your mind. You'll still be here if you act, think, and manifest wiseness as thought processes in input and behaviors in outcomes, or outcomes in behaviors. So until next time, this has been the Great Owl, reasonings right here at the Tree of Life, here on Tree of Life Television Network, just gently advancing a little bit more knowledge on the living man and the living person through the natural laws manifest as a natural way of being. It has rights to it, it has responsibilities, because not only do you have a lawful right to existence, but you have a lawful responsibility to not destroy the existence and the experience for others as you would like them not to destroy the experience for you. These things will tantamount into harmonious, truthful, gallantry of life with valor and honor. Celebrate your living person. Celebrate the nature of your living being. Yeah? Respect the sovereignty of your being. Act from it. Act as it. And the manifest reality will concur with the internal, legal, lawful, spiritual, spirited, harmonious practices. You would have balance in true understanding and true knowing. The law is your tenor. You have tenor in the law because you breathe. Without the law of existence, you or I or any could not breathe, could not draw upon a breath, could not have this pneuma as our life force. So be strong in the lawful existence that you are, acting the rights and the responsibility to create an experience that is harmonious for yourself and for those who you encounter in the greater brotherhood of the human family. Brotherhood, sisterhood, family of the human family, right? The familiarity within the human family, the human community, and by extension, yeah, into the legalistic argument, as I said, right, into these new nation states, right, and countries, these status, titles, and labels. But as I know, and as we truly ought to understand, we were before these status, titles, and labels, and as hence they cannot define us. But we find peace in understanding through knowledge, through clarity, and acting in the lawful manner. All these states will be understood in the straw man and not affect the living person. Hallelujah. Right? So, on the path, relax. Learn of your true nature. Act upon your true nature. It will lead you legally to understand, and you'll have the lawful experience of life to pervade all these things that is before you, and be able to choose wisely, not augment yourself in something that will take all of your power for future generations to come. Because the truth is, do not gain the world and lose your soul. Love, light, and liberty. Blessings, natural person, living man, living woman. Like, share, subscribe. Share Life Television Network, right here on YouTube. So until next time, this has been the Great Owl, reminding you of your lawful responsibilities and rights to yourself, the sovereign logos in time and in space. Continue to support the Tree Life and Wizio.com mini therapy healing sessions. Give that personal connection and personal transformation portal. Give it a chance to be open, where we can talk, reason, and the specific issues that are affecting you. And a solution can be offered, a word that might spark or ignite a fulfillment of the true person within you. So I give thanks for all the support from all the years and all the support I will forward in 2022. Blessings, love, and light, joy, and prosperity.